students, welcome back to my channel. So within this playlist, ophthalmology playlist, let us today discuss with the disease of the retina. So within this video, I will be discussing with you regarding proliferative diabetic retinopathy, rheumatogenic retinal detachment, what is Ehlers disease, what is hypertensive retinopathy, retinitis pigmentosa, retinoblastoma, amaurotic cat eye reflex, and what is its importance and layers of the retina, and what is the fundus picture during diabetic retinopathy. So this all things we'll be discussing within this video only. So please stay tuned. So coming with the proliferative diabetic retinopathy. So what is a proliferative diabetic retinopathy? Proliferative means something it is genesis. Okay, something proliferating. It is multiplying. It is called as proliferative. Diabetics, common sense it is a diabetes, hyperglycemic condition. Retinopathy is something happening within the retina. Pathological events happening within the retina. So together in the nutshell, proliferative diabetic retinopathy. So there is proliferation of the blood vessels or there is neovascularization within the retina during diabetic or uncontrolled diabetic situation or circumstances that will be referred as diabetic retinopathy. So what are the consequences of this proliferative diabetic retinopathy? The person goes blind. There is hemorrhage in the retinal blood vessels. There is neovascularization. There is small tiny new blood vessels, capillaries that are formed. What is the problem with the neovascularization? Okay, that is the right term. The problem is that the newly formed blood vessels are very weak, very thin. They rupture very easily, causing vitreal hemorrhages or retinal hemorrhages. Or okay, this may lead to infection. Okay, and it may lead to damage to the optic nerve as well. Okay, because the optic nerve doesn't getting enough oxygen, enough blood supply, then it may lead to hypoxia of the tissues and leading to tissue injury, and thereby leading to vision loss. So this was about the proliferative diabetic retinopathy. So how do we treat? There is a laser treatment. There is a direct laser treatment which we use to stop the proliferation of the diabetic retinopathy. Or already been many proliferation of the blood vessels happened within the retina. At that time, the ophthalmologists use the lasers so to stop the proliferation of budding of the new blood vessels. Okay, this is the direct treatment for this proliferative diabetic retinopathy. Next comes with what is rheumatogenic retinal detachment. So rheumatogenic retinal detachment, whenever there is a trauma or because of aging, the retinal wall, the light sensitive layer of your eye. If you really don't know what is retina, please go to the video because it is a part of first year anatomy physiology. Retina, it is a light sensitive layer of the eye, which is the third most layer, which is the inside most layer, which largest places the rods and cones within itself for production or for converting light energy, light waves into electrical wave, which are sent to the brain. This much you should know if you are a medical student, if you are coming to a third year. So if you do not know really what is a retina, then as per medical sciences concerned, you are a very poor guy. So coming back to rheumatogenic retinal detachment, it is tearing of the retina gets teared, and within that tear the vitreous humor, whatever the vitreous content is there, that is behind your lens, the vitreous jelly like material or the fluid within that thing, it rushes within the teared part of the retina, and it dislodges the retinal layer with the choroid layer or the other layer of the retina. So there is a tear, there is a partial tear or a complete tear of the retina that causes detachment of the retina from the underlying tissue. This is known as rheumatogenic retinal detachment. So how the ophthalmologist treat this thing? First of all, there is a buckling of the eye can be done for a supportive treatment. Another one is the laser surgery to treat this thing. So these are the radical options the ophthalmologist uses. Okay, then comes with the Ehlers disease. What is an Ehlers disease? Ehlers disease, it is an idiopathic disease. The basic cause is not known. Why it is called, it is not known, but it is curable by giving anti-inflammatory. It is the inflammation of the blood vessels within the retina, especially the retinal veins are inflamed, and there is a white opaque materials are formed over the retina. So this is the Ehlers disease. Next comes is what is hypertensive retinopathy. Whenever the hypertension happens, whenever the blood pressure, systemic blood pressure rises, when it is not in control, it causes end organ damage. There is something called as end organ damage. What does it mean? The failure of the kidney, the failure of the eyes. Okay, these are nothing but the end organ damage because of the high blood pressure within the eyes, retinal artery. The retinal artery shows ruptures. They shows aneurysms. Okay, and because of the rupture of the blood vessels, the retinal tissues don't get the enough blood supply. The hypoxia will be there, malnutrition will be there for the retinal tissue, and the person may go blind. So how we will treat? First, treat it as an emergency condition. Immediately start reduce the blood pressure blood pressure by giving antihypertensive drugs in the emergency. Okay. So next comes the what is retinoblastoma. The retinoblastoma is a malignant condition. First thing, it is a malignant condition. It occurs in the children where the juvenile retinoblastoma, retina, blasto something juvenile cells. The juvenile cells of the retina, the formative cells, the cells which form the retina, those cells undergo cancerous change, the neoplastic change. So that thing it is called as retinoblastoma. It is usually found in the children. The children who go blind because of this malignancy. The only terminal treatment for this retinoblastoma is entire enucleation of the entire eye before the cancer spread to other eye, because it is a malignant cancer. Retinoblastoma, it is a malignant cancer due to mutation in retinoblastoma gene. Okay, within the retinoblast cells that are juvenile, it is present in the juvenile stages of a person. Okay, at that time, so it is better to remove the entire eye before it spread to other systemic tissues or the organs. So this will be the retinoblastoma. Next comes with the what is amaurotic eye disease or amaurotic cat eye reflex. So amaurotic cat eye reflex, it is a symptom or a manifestation wherein which the pupil are black. Usually they are black. Okay, whenever you put the torch also, they are black only. They are black in color. They appear black in color. But whenever a flashlight is put over the eyes, okay, during the examination, the pupil appear cloudy white in color, sparkling white in color. Okay, that may be one reason. It may be because of cataract, because the lens got opaque, or the lens got opacity within it, or it may be because of the retinoblastoma, which we already discussed before, because of the leukoplakia like thing, leukocoria. It is the whiteness of the pupil is called as leukocoria. This condition is leukocoria, and whenever you put the torch and see, white reflex is seen, white reflection is seen. That is called as amaurotic cat eye reflex. Okay, it is a conventional thing. It is scientifically it is called as leukocoria. So it may be because of retinal detachment will be the cause for this leukocoria, or there may be retinoblastoma, or it may be because of cataract. So these three may be distinguishable conditions wherein which you get the leukocoria within the person. Now comes with the layers of the retina. So layers of the retina, it is the part of anatomy physiology again. The retina, it is the color, it is the third or the innermost layer of the eye, and it is a light sensitive layer, and it usually has to better to understand, it has 10 layers. Okay, it has 10 layers. It has an outer laminating membrane, inner laminating membrane. The outer laminating membrane faces the choroid, the inner laminating membrane faces the vitreous. Okay, between this thing, between outer and the inner laminating membrane, there is sandwich of ganglions and the nerve cell bodies and the plexiforms. Plexiforms are nothing but the mixture or the network of nerve fibers. It is called as plexiform. So outer laminating membrane, it lodges the rods, cones, and the retinal pigmented epithelial cells. Okay, between these things, the axons are there, plexiforms, that is a mixture of these dendrites, and the axons are there, cell bodies are there, and even the ganglions are present. So all these things you need to refer the chart. Okay, even in the figure I have mentioned over here, even in the anatomy atlas you can refer the 10 layers. The sequence of the layers I cannot tell over here. So outer laminating membrane, inner laminating membrane. Outside there is it lodges pigmented endothelial layer and epithelial cells of the retina, rods and cones. Innerly it is axons, cell bodies, plexiforms. Outer plexiform, inner plexiform, outer cell body, inner cell body. Okay, this is the thing. Next comes to the what is the fundus picture in diabetic retinopathy. First, let us understand what is an eye fundus. Fundus of an eye. What is it? Well, the red lens is there. Okay, this is the lens. Right behind the lens, the retina, whatever the retina, it comes the area of the retina that corresponds to the lens. The lens which focus, the lens when it focuses the light, the area where the light is focused, the area of the retina on which the light is focused, that is called as retina. What this fundus contains? The circular area that corresponds to the lens. The area contains macula. Macula is nothing but condensed area of the cone cells. It is called as macula. Then comes the optic disc. What is the optic disc? The origin of the optic nerve. Okay, optic nerve, optic cell body, optic nerve cell body. It is condensation of optic nerve cell body. It is called as optic disc. Then comes the other area. It is formed by the rod cells, which are dim light vision receptors or dim light vision receptors. Okay. So that will be called as the other area which are occupied by the rod cell. The macula is occupied mainly by the condensation of the cone cells that are colored vision. Now what we see during the fundus retinopathy, what we see in the fundus during retinopathy. diabetic retinopathy. Sorry. So during the diabetic retinopathy, there is a neovascularization. The blood vessels start proliferating, budding off to the new blood vessels. Why? Because there is hypoxia. Because of the diabetes, uncontrolled sugar level, the blood vessels got damaged, and some part of the eye don't get the enough blood vessels. So that may lead to neovascularization would be there. There would be an aneurysm, that is the rupturing of the blood vessels would be there. If it is entirely ruptured, it will lead to hemorrhages. Retinal hemorrhages could be seen. Retinal artery aneurysm can be seen. Only the part of the artery, only the endothelial lining is broken down, and the blood rushes within the layers of this artery. Okay, leading to end organ damage, total induction resulting in end organ damage. So these are the features that are usually seen during the fundus picture during the diabetic retinopathy. So this was all about the diseases of the retina that I needed to discuss with you friends within this video. So if you really like my channel, please like and subscribe the button. So till then, take care, bye.